Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our third Product Jam session. As you know, in the first Product Jam, we showed you how to build a membership site in 15 minutes or less. In the second Product Jam, we talked about product segmentation, marketing segmentation, and customer segmentation so that you can use these techniques for greater profits. In today's Product Jam, we're going to cover 15 conversion boosting secrets that you can implement in 15 minutes or less. Today, I have Marty Dickinson with me to help me cover the strategic side of website conversion. Marty is the co-author of Web Marketing All-in-One for Dummies and a full-time web marketer, coach, and business development specialist since 1996. Marty can be reached at Here Next Year if you would like to speak directly to Marty about your business and ways he can help you achieve greater success. You may also want to head on over to Marty's website and grab his free report on how to get 101 web traffic methods absolutely free.
Great to be on the call with you again, Gary. Converting more visitors to paying customers is one of my favorite parts of all of web marketing, probably because this is where the money happens. And maybe the other thing I should bring up is that since we're just in the introductory stage for today, is that you really want to have everything set up to convert the most visitors possible into paying customers before you start any serious traffic building campaign. I mean, if you're getting 1,000 visitors to your website today and you're not converting any of those visitors to paying customers, well, that number is not going to change very much when you're getting 100,000 visitors either. After all, I always like to say 100,000 times zero is still zero, right? So this is a perfect time in our webinar series to focus on conversion tactics.
And as always, we're going to jump right into this. Get this webinar started. We'll have 15 minutes of tactical, we'll have 15 minutes of strategic, and then we'll spend 30 minutes on a Q&A session answering any question that you guys have, and then promptly getting you back into your busy day. So jumping right into this, we all know that getting traffic to your website is difficult, and the last thing you want to do is lose that traffic because of confusion or just some questions they have about your product that they don't know the answers to, so they bail out right at the beginning. Now, of course, having your phone number on your website is important. It's something we believe in, and you'll also note that all the tools that we're going to demonstrate to you are also tools that we use on our own website. In other words, we're using the same tools to market to you and to bring more customers into CloudNet 360 as we're offering to you so that you can also bring more customers in for your product. So when you see our website, you'll note that we do have our phone numbers listed. We have a toll-free number and we have an international number. But frankly, that's not enough. And this leads me to two of my favorite conversion tools because it gets people engaged into your process. Now, the first one is going to be live chat. When you have live chat on your website, it's an extremely effective tool for engaging your customers. Oftentimes, what you'll find is that customers want to just ask a very simple question, and the reality is that there's a contingent of people that just don't want to call you on the phone for multiple reasons. Maybe they think that you've got a long phone menu that they'll have to press all kinds of buttons to get through, or maybe they're in a place where they just can't call you. Maybe they're at work and they're just doing some web browsing at work and don't want people to know they're doing web browsing at work. So they'll come onto live chat, they'll ask the questions about your product or service, and they'll do it in a fairly quick, quiet method. So live chat is a great tool even if you have an 800 number on your website. Now the second tool that I like is what we call click-to-call. And what this tool does is it allows a person to come into your website, tell you what their name is, what their phone number is, and it'll send you this information so that you can call them back. Now, the really cool trick to this tool is that it's geared up for small businesses. With a traditional click-to-call, you've got some disadvantages. One, it's going to connect the call whether you're ready for it or not. Two, you're going to have to pay a per minute fee. What our click-to-call does is it takes all these factors into account, and instead of actually connecting you immediately, knowing you may be at the accountant's office or at Staples or running errands, or maybe you're just not in a position where you can take a phone call, what this will do is send a text message to your cell phone or to your computer telling you that Bob is on your website and Bob wants you to call him at a specific phone number. Now, the last thing you'll note is that we also have a country listed, because you may get international traffic from countries that, frankly, you don't want to call back. So let me just show you quickly what this is going to look like when a text message comes into your cell phone. It tells you what the subject line is, it gives you the phone number, the country, and the name of the person that you need to call back. Now, we use this thing quite effectively, and the most amazing thing about the click-to-call system is that it generates the highest converting leads that you're going to get. Now, you're not going to get the most leads off of the click-to-call system, but the leads that come in off this system are all action takers. I'm not 100% sure why, but I can tell you after a number of years of using this system, the people that hit the click-to-call are people that have their wallet in their hand ready to buy. And I assure you that if you can get back to your customers in 5 to 10 minutes, they will be very happy that you called them back. They'll be happy that they didn't have to make the phone call themselves. And anything under 10 minutes is generally going to be deemed as a perfectly acceptable time frame for you to get back to these customers. And of course, you can designate the office hours that you're going to be available, and these show up on your click-to-call system. So if a person comes in after hours, they can't actually send a click-to-call message to you, but they can submit an email so that you can call them back the next day. Now, another tool we use on our website is called a selectable opt-in form, because with a typical opt-in form, you're able to offer one ethical bribe and get the person to either opt in or not opt in. But what happens when you have a scenario like ours where you have multiple different categories of customers? We have some customers that are just starting out. We have some customers that are already very successful, very experienced business people. And then we have our specialty niche, which is our coaches, because we have one of the best coaching systems out there, and online coaches is definitely our target market. So what we do is we let people put in their name, their email, then let them choose what report they want. They can choose either the 7-step recovery plan, the Turbo Sales Accelerator tips and tricks, or the 3 reasons time trade is scared of CloudNet 360. I think you can see that when you more closely relate your offer to your audience, you're going to convert at a much higher rate and get more opt-ins per visitor. Using a sale price can be an effective way to get people to take immediate action. Inside the system, you can have your standard price, your private price, wholesale price, distributor price, and you can set up a sale price. You can have a start date and an end date, or you can just leave the sale price open-ended. But the key to the sale price is to make people understand that they're getting something special. So watch what happens when we put this into the cart. You see that the regular price is displayed with a strikeout, and the sale price is shown right underneath it. In addition, you have the sale icon that gets added for further reinforcement that the customer is getting a special deal. Using quantity discounts can be a great way to motivate people to buy more. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of giving out a discount when someone buys more unless they're buying more just to get that discount. So what we've done is set up our quantity discount system in a way that motivates people to buy more to get the quantity discount. So what I've done is I've set up a very simple quantity discount matrix, and now let's go see what it looks like. And this is the point that's critical for me, because when this product is added to the cart, people immediately see that there's a quantity discount available. They see what the quantity discount is and what the savings are. And now it motivates them to buy more product from you. And there's the product discount. Not only do we motivate people to buy more, but then we tell them how much they've saved to further reinforce that it's a good thing for them to do. So now let's talk about the Clear Cart Code. The Clear Cart Code is a very useful tool, and it can be combined with many other things. For example, if you're doing an upsell and you're selling me one product to begin with, but then want to upsell me into a bundle or something else, the Clear Cart Code will remove the previous product when the new product is added to the cart. The other thing it can do is help your conversions, because it avoids having people put multiple products of the same product in the cart and then destroy your conversions by having the quantity go up and the price go up and the people bail out of the purchase. So for example, you see here that we already have one in the cart. And if we come back here, Now you see that we have multiple line items of the same product. But now let's go ahead and use the clear cart code so that if I add the same product into the cart multiple times, it'll remove all the other products in the cart before it adds this in. And we'll add it into the cart now. And now you see that there's only one product in the cart. Again, this can be combined, and I'm going to show you in a couple other conversion tips how we combine the clear cart code with some of the other functions to make for a real nice conversion and upsell process. But I think you can see right away that this eases the confusion and ensures that your customer only puts one of the product into the cart. And of course, this is typically only used when you have a singular product on your website. If you have multiple products on your website and you're going to want a customer to add multiple products into your cart, well then you wouldn't use this. But if you have a high-end specialty type product, the clear cart code will work very well for that. When you offer your customers their choice of what they want for delivery, you're going to improve your conversions because some people don't want to receive your product every 30 days. Maybe they want it sooner, maybe every 15 days, or maybe they want it at 30 days, or 45 days, or maybe only every 60 days. When you give people their option of delivery, you're going to sell more. It's just that simple. So you can set up multiple recurring billing profiles for each and every single product inside of the system. So let's see what this looks like on the page. And now you see you have your best coffee as your product, and with the drop-down window, you let your customers choose the recurring cycle or the delivery cycle that they would like to have from your business. And of course, when you give them a little bit of incentive, it's very likely that you're going to sell more with a quicker recurring billing cycle. And now I'm going to show you a conversion trick using related products. But as you can see, I'm not just going to use related products. What I'm going to do is use the clear cart code, related products, quantity discount, and the selectable recurring billing to make a really high impact type of conversion improvement. So we'll come back in here and we'll test it. And now what you see, I've got my dark roast coffee, and I'm giving people their option of delivery and offering a quantity discount. But now down below, what I'm doing is I'm giving them 3 more options of getting additional product at a discounted price. Now they can buy the dark roasted plus hazelnut, dark roast plus morning blend, or dark roast and vanilla. And again, I put the sale tag on it for $44.95 instead of $50, which would be the normal price of 25 times 2. And when I add this in, now you see how it takes the other product out of the cart and replaces it with my new upsell product. Now I don't have multiple products in the cart, causing confusion and causing friction in the sales process. This is a very simple technique that you can use to upsell if you're selling this type of product. Now I want to cover 2 items at one time because they're fairly closely related. One of them is the order page and the fact that you can have a unique look and feel for every single product to maximize your conversions on each of these products. The second thing you should do is put in a unique product-specific thank you page. Now, before we go into how you do it at each product, I want to show you that if you wanted to do it just at the cart level, you can. All you do is come into cart settings, go into look and feel, and you can see that this look and feel that gets set at the cart level will be applied to every product without a product-specific look and feel. Now the same is true when you talk about the unique thank you page, because you can set one system-wide thank you page, and that's in general settings, and then checkout URLs. If you use this as a system-wide setting, these settings will be applied to every single product that does not have a product-specific thank you page, decline transaction URL, continue shopping URL, or clear cart URL. But let's go back to our products. And if we come into the checkout look and feel, you can see that I've changed my look and feel. I've added a different header and I've added a different background color. So now my look and feel of my checkout page is going to be dependent upon the product the customer puts into the shopping cart. And if they bring this product into the shopping cart, it'll look this way. If they're buying this product, it'll look this way. So now you can run multiple businesses, multiple different product lines, or just maybe subcategories of product lines within your singular website. Now let's go back into our thank you area. And again, it's just under checkout URLs. And here is where you will put your unique thank you URL. You can put this at the cart setting, or you can put this at the product level setting and override the cart setting. But now let's take a deeper look and see what we can do on the order page itself in order to improve our conversions. Because while we have an abandoned cart recovery system, which I will show you in just a minute here, we don't want people to abandon because we want them to continue on and make the purchase. So the first thing you'll note on this order page is that I've gotten rid of most of the fields that aren't necessary, but I've left a couple here just for demonstration purposes, and you'll see coupon code and gift certificate. These are two areas that you definitely want to get rid of if you're not using them, because people will come down to this area, notice that there's coupon codes available, and then they'll start running around the internet, Googling and searching for coupon codes, and if they can find them, they may or may not come back. So if you're not offering coupons or gift certificates, just take these fields and remove them from your order page. It's really easy, and you can put them back at any point in time. So let's come back in here, and I'll show you how to do that. Just come back to cart settings, general settings, customize your fields, and again, you can see all the fields that are available, but also all the fields that I got rid of. I didn't need the phone number, or a company, or a work phone number, or a fax number. These are all fields you probably don't need. Now, I'm going to come over to Checkout Order page, and all I'm going to do is change my setting in this drop-down box. And now those fields are gone, and people won't be distracted running around looking for coupons. But while we're here, let me show you another tip that you can use, and this is configurable. You can choose two things. A, whether you want to use a multi-language order page, and B, what you want your default language to be when they first come to this page. So for example, this is currently set at default of English, and now I'm going to change it. And you see the languages change automatically. When you communicate in the language of your customer, you have a higher likelihood that they're going to convert. But let's bounce back here and I'll show you how I did that. Back to cart settings, general settings, currency country, and now you can set your default language, and you get to choose whether you want to use a multi-language order page. People are naturally cautious, and especially when they don't know you as a business, they're going to be even more so. So one of the things that we're going to do is give them your email privacy policy right on the order page. Now again, this is configurable and you can use it or choose not to use it, but I recommend that everyone should use this feature because it just is one more assurance that you're a reputable business. So this is what it looks like without the email privacy policy on the order page. And what we're going to do is come back into cart settings, advanced settings, and email privacy policy. Save the changes, and now let's go see what it looks like with the email privacy policy installed. And now you see it shows up right on the order page, right in between email and confirm email. And then when they click it, they can see in a pop-up box what your email privacy policy is. Now here's another conversion improvement tactic that you can quickly and easily put onto your order page. You can see I've just added an image, a phone number, I've put another guarantee. You can put anything you want in here because it's just a basic HTML field. This whole right side, you could put videos, you can put anything you choose in here, or you can even upsell right off this space. All you have to do is come into cart settings, advanced customization, and just add any HTML into this box that you choose. And now I want to talk about what happens after the product is sold, because selling a product isn't the end game. if you have a refund policy. And I'm sure everyone has some form of refund policy. So the important thing is that you sell the product and keep it sold. Now, an easy way to keep a product sold is through the use of a post-sale autoresponder sequence. Now, these sequences need to be product specific, but it's very simple to do that because all you have to do is come into the CRM autoresponder section and then select an autoresponder sequence. In this case, I only have one funnel and one sales path, but typically you're going to have multiple funnels and multiple sales paths. But the bottom line is always the same. All you have to do is come in, select the product, associate this sales path with this product. When this product is purchased, the person will automatically be placed onto this sales path. It's all automatic. It's product specific. It's very easy to do, and it's very effective at keeping the sale that you earned. And now what I'd like to demonstrate is the abandoned cart recovery feature, because it's a well-known fact that people will often get to the order page, start filling out the order form, but before they proceed or put in their credit card, they get cold feet and then they don't complete the transaction. And this can happen for a multitude of reasons as we've gone over, but what we want to do is A, catch them while they're still on the page and put an offer in front of them before they leave. And then B, if they do leave, we want to have a way to chase after them and present new offers to them. So all you have to do to create a product-specific sales path assignment for an abandoned cart recovery is come into CRM autoresponder and then select the sales path that you want the person deposited into if they come to the order page and then leave. Now what I'm going to do is come into the CRM and you'll see that Tom Racer is the last person added. And now let's go buy this product. So some of my name has been remembered here, but I'll just come in and put in an email address. And at this point, I'm just not going to complete the purchase. So I'm going to leave, and there's the first layer of abandoned cart recovery. This pop-up will give you the chance to put anything you want into this offer. You can do a coupon, you can do a cross-sell, you can do an upsell, you can do a downsell. You can really do anything you choose in this offer. In this case, I'm going to say, no thanks, I don't want it, and I'm just going to leave. And if you notice, I never hit the submit button. So I put my name and information into the form, but I did nothing beyond that. Now we'll come into the CRM, we'll update it, and there it is. You see now, without me even hitting submit, the form was actively grabbing all the information I was putting onto the form, and even though I never hit submit or took any action, it captured it. And if we come into the name, and there, I'm on the Instant Fire Recovery sales path. Now, this sales path is going to give you the opportunity to chase after those customers and recover those sales that would normally be lost. And finally, what we have is the customer portal, because everybody knows the easiest way to convert is to sell to existing customers. And that's what the customer portal does. It's all about upselling. It's all about cross-selling and reselling. Now, one of the things you probably noticed was that we have different pricing for different people. You have a retail price, you have a private price, a wholesale price, and a distributor price. Well, once you get into the customer portal, you'll see that we have different offers that you can set up for these customers. Because all you have to do is come in here and you see that here's the regular price, $125, but it has a strike through, and it's the private price of $110 that your customers will actually have to pay. Now, if we come back into this and we actually look at the product, you'll see how easy this is to set up. The first thing we'll do is we'll look at the price, and here you see $125 and $110, and then you see this checkbox here, portal product. Okay, all you have to do is check that box, and that product will automatically be injected into the customer portal so that you can sell it as a portal-only product. Now, obviously, you could put this on your website as well, but the whole purpose of this is to give you an opportunity to sell like a Sam's Club or a Costco or a Buyer's Club type environment. Now, the second thing it does is after people are logged in, they will also be able to buy with this price off your website. So again, you're giving your people an incentive to come back and buy again and again and again from you. Now let's go back into our customer portal because I unchecked this product. We'll refresh the page. And now you see the product is gone. If I go back and check the product and do the same thing in reverse, the product will immediately appear. Now the other thing it does is it allows you to come in to not only do special offers, but to have them look at their orders, and you see all they have to do is click this button, one click easy reorder. So if you're selling a consumable item like vitamins, for example, and it has a 30-day supply, you could, of course, put them onto a recurring billing. But if they're not on recurring billing and they want to reorder the product, they don't have to remember what they ordered or fill out forms or get their credit card. All they have to do is come into their customer portal, look at their history, click on this button, and the order is done instantly. There's no order form, there's no credit cards, it's just one click and done. This is a really phenomenal way for you to upsell your customers and to continue on with the conversion of the same products that they've already bought, already liked, and want more of. This is a great system. Everybody should be using this customer portal if they want to sell more to their existing customer base. And now that we've talked about 15 ways that you can increase your conversions, let me show you one way that you can quickly destroy your conversions. So here I've come to a website with a person that supposedly is going to teach me how to make all kinds of money. Yet when I click on their add to cart button, it takes me to PayPal. And now you can see that the branding is gone, the flow is gone, and then there's a couple other things that happen. To begin with, if I don't have a PayPal account and I don't really understand how PayPal works and that I can use my credit card, the first thing I do is I bail out because, well, I don't have a PayPal account. Now the second thing, I may have a PayPal account and think, well, I don't have any money in my PayPal account. So again, I bail out. And lastly, if I try to use a credit card and it's tied to my PayPal account, PayPal will cancel the transaction and tell me to log into my PayPal account. But here again, maybe I don't remember what my PayPal account is, maybe I don't use it very often, maybe I don't know my password, maybe I'm at a different computer. But these are all things that you can do to help destroy your conversions. Take people off your order page, push them to PayPal, let them try to figure out how to pay you, and watch how you can reduce your conversion rate literally overnight. Now, I'm not saying that PayPal is all bad. What I do like to see is people use a real-time gateway so that you can have your customers pay right through the order page and offer them the option of using PayPal if they choose. Because you may have 5% or 10% of your customers that choose not to use a credit card and actually want to pay you with PayPal. So use a real-time gateway, offer PayPal as an alternative way of paying. We put all of those in one drop-down menu on the order page, so you allow your customer to choose. But when you take them off the page and push them onto PayPal, without them knowing that they're going to PayPal and consciously making that decision that they want to go to PayPal, you're going to lose sales, I guarantee it. So I guess I better stop since I've gone over my 15 minutes and my 15 trick limit. So let me work the controls and get this handed over to Marty so he can talk about more of the strategic aspects of conversion improvement.
And that was well worth going over the 15-minute mark for your part of the presentation. I hope everybody on this call realizes what they just saw here. I mean, I've been going to conferences and web marketing seminars for almost 20 years, and I really, in countless webinars, oh my gosh, I cannot think of one time when I've sat in on an educational process like this that's focused on the cart aspects. It's always about copywriting and changing your titles and your headlines and copy of your video and things like that. But as Gary is giving me presentation control of the screen here, I have a couple of things to show if he'll fire that over to me. But fortunately, this is all recorded. So we're going to put this up on the blog. You'll be able to go through it again. I strongly, strongly suggest that you do step by step. Get in a room with your designer, with your VA, and see which of these strategies you can implement and get them tested. Start seeing if they impact your sales at all. And this is really, really great training. I'm just like exhaling. There's so much there. So I'm going to focus my comments piggybacking on some of the things that Gary said. I'm going to use a live example here. I brought up this example last week, and I got a lot of good favorable comments about using this as a live example. So this is this is not a product I made. This is a client of mine who's been doing a lot of work on this website, so I can talk real easily about it. And so you land on the homepage for sleepeasily.com, and then you get to the sales page, and of course you have all the sales copy on here, and then you have your order buttons. And this is the area that we're talking about today, is what happens when people get to this actual order page. Again, this is stuff you just don't hear about in the speaking circuit. Everybody's focused on the other things. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. Number one, if I go back to the page, you see this is actually on the website, sleepeasily.com. This is just one of the many pages that we have. And you have this consistent branding between the website and the shopping cart system. So you want to have that consistent branding. As Gary was saying, if people go to PayPal, all of a sudden that branding is gone. So really work with your designer to come up with a header. And this part right here is part of the header. This is something else I've tested. Putting a testimonial in there. One of our big targets with this particular product are police and fire and EMS professionals. They're under such high stress, and we're going after pilots now too. Doing a lot of joint venture things with pilots. So putting a testimonial up here, we've definitely seen an increase in conversion rates, as well as showing that we have authorized net verifications and money-back guarantees. So if this is a product in the health industry, people are instantly skeptical if it's going to work or not. So right up front, we have to do as much as we can to eliminate that skepticism. And this is all just done in the header. And you can see one of the things Gary was pointing out was the multi-language icons to get them to show up. So we have those there. We have those activated. And then, one thing I really like about the way that the system works is that you have a description field. So you can list all the things that people are actually going to get when they buy the product. So I've tested all these things. One by one, I've just tested everything to see which brings us to the biggest conversion rate. One thing that we're working on right now is testing to see if we get a better conversion rate by having all this stuff in here. Just to give you a number here, people landing on this website, we average somewhere between 3 and 4.5% of a conversion rate. So for every 100 visitors we get to the website, 3 or 4 convert to a sale. So that's pretty good. For people landing on the site for the first time, and this is without Google AdWords. We're not doing any Google AdWords campaigns yet. So it's all organic search and people that have found it through blogs and referrals, things like that. So we're testing to see if we get any additional conversion rate on the upsell of these additional products that people can get in addition to the package. And we used to have this. We used to have this all blank, and then have all this in the upsell area. So then we could showcase these products one by one. But so far, we've found just a little bit of a difference, a little fewer sales in the actual main core product. But because we're showcasing these on the sidebar, we have a much higher conversion rate of these additional products. So it's kind of a trade-off, but the number is not so significant that we're willing to just jump right back into using the upsell feature, because for our market, for this particular market, you have to know your audience, and you have to test to find out what makes the bigger bucks. We definitely get a higher sale value for every customer that comes in when they get 1 or 2 of these additional products. The other thing we've realized is that our audience is a little bit older. Usually people that are in their teens or early 20s aren't out to find a product like this. They're usually late 30s, 40s, and 50s and up. And so we have to really feature what we want them to do. So as soon as we started saying your shipping is free, you really point that out and have a couple of arrows to it. And this is in that right sidebar like Gary showed that you can customize. As soon as we added that and really pointed out free shipping, conversions went up a little bit. It's not like it skyrocketed from 0.5 to 4, but we definitely saw a change. And then coupon code. We added a little bit of HTML code in here just to really point out the coupon. We have special deals going for a bunch of niche markets. We have separate pages, landing pages, where we feature content that's specific to a certain group, and we'll have a coupon to give them incentive to buy now. And one thing we realized too is our conversions went up. The use of the coupons went up when we made a screenshot of the actual using the coupon. So we have this little area here in a screenshot with a coupon code and an arrow that points to the coupon, and then we actually have the coupon code typed in there in the screenshot, and then we have a circle around add. And when we added that feature into the landing page for a specific group, conversions went up because people see that instruction. So the whole point is that you really need to just try different things with the system. Here's another one that we tested right up front. This is a product that is kind of confusing. What the heck do I get for $70, right? So we list it here, but then we thought, well, let's make images of everything people are going to get, and we put this in the footer. So a lot of times the footer is neglected in shopping cart systems, but I would suggest that you restate what people are going to get when they purchase from you and add in a real value. I mean, I don't want to hike this value up to $15,000 or something, although it probably is to a lot of people, but a realistic value of what everything you're offering is. And that kind of gets into the whole copywriting aspect of things. You have hot copywriting and workshops, but we really wanted to focus on the elements once people get to this order page, because this is different. This is the kind of stuff that you just don't hear about. So the other thing that I wanted to just make a couple of observation comments here is I really want to stress that abandoned cart recording, when you get the recording of Gary going through the abandoned cart section of his presentation, watch that very carefully and try it, because, 80% of everybody who comes into a buying process dumps it. It's always been that way. People get distracted and they leave, but the system, Cloudnet 360 really has a perfect system that you would have to pay. There are other systems out there that cost a lot more than this system, and you'd have to pay a lot more just to get that abandoned cart function. So give it a try. When you market to people that abandon the cart, you're going to see a 70, 80, even 90% conversion rate on those people that you're marketing to, simply because they're so surprised that, well, I didn't even complete the form, and you're still marketing to me. Wow, these guys are really on top of it. The second thing that I wanted to just point out as a final remark before we open up the questions here is about PayPal. I would suggest that you offer both the capability to take PayPal orders and through AuthorizeNet. That's the typical gateway that I'll use with any ordering systems that's been around for years. But that way, there are certain people that just will not buy anything unless they can pay through PayPal. And then there's another percentage that just simply refuse to use PayPal for anything. So both will kill sales if you're not offering PayPal and the common gateway for online sales. So if you're new to this process, what we do is Gary and I have been presenting our topics here, and that usually takes about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. Today we're up to 41 minutes, and then we just answer questions for the remainder of an hour. And our goal here is to cut it off in an hour, and then we'll do another webinar next Friday, and we're already talking about having traffic building be next Friday. So that's going to be a real exciting one. Everybody wants to get more traffic to their website. But again, if you're your first time on the webinar here, there's a little chat box that you'll see in your dashboard. It's probably on the right side of your screen for GoToMeeting, and you can put in some questions there, and then Gary will see those, and then he will bring those up. So go ahead and type in your questions, and then we will address those, as many as we can. Sometimes we've had some sessions that when we were talking about the membership system, oh my gosh, we were just flooded with questions. It was awesome. So keep those questions coming. This is the time to do it. So Gary, that is the end of my presentation showing screens. If you want to take back control of the screen, and then we can open up for questions.
Before we go back and look at some of the screens though, Marty, there is a real good point that you brought up, but maybe not specifically. And what you demonstrated was that you tested one component, you added another component, you added another component, and the overriding theme of what you were saying was that none of those improvements actually made, let's say, quantum leaps in sales. But I think it comes back to that old saying of death by 1,000 cuts. You also have success by 1,000 improvements. And you can't just look for the what I call the Hail Mary pass, that you're going to install something or put some script on your page or make some video and have your sales dramatically jump instantaneously. But what happens is the cumulative effect of putting in all those little things will have a very dramatic effect on your sales, right? So you have to go through that whole process and improve bit by bit, section by section, screen by screen, if you really want your business to take off.
That's right. And the alternative to that is to run an extensive Google AdWords campaign and just drive traffic within a very short amount of time and test things one by one that way. So lots of different ways to test. I mean, the basic elementary way of testing is to try one thing and then just wait for a week and see how many visitors you get, and then match those up with how many sales you get. It's a pretty simple process there, and then change things out. I mean, when we launched this, it was middle of January when we launched this website, and I mean, we're still testing today. It's September. We're still testing things. So I don't think testing ever really ends until you've tested there's hundreds of components to test through any sales cycle, any sales path, the whole, everything you just covered, let alone all the copy on the original pages. So there's constant testing going on. I don't think it ever ends.
Just to go back and cover your point, what we do with the order page is we give people the opportunity to put Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, PayPal, and also a pay later system right into this drop-down window. Now, this isn't a live account, so you don't get to see all those options, but this is what I was talking about earlier with putting in a real-time gateway and offering PayPal on the same order page and letting your customers choose exactly what it is that they want to do to pay you. And what that does is give you the highest conversion rate versus using one or the other. Offer them both and you'll get more sales. So let's jump into a couple of the questions here. The first one is back to testing again. What they want to know is, how do you get started in testing? What are the first things that you would recommend testing, and what tools are you using to do this testing?
Okay. Well, I'll just respond to that real quick by suggesting again, if you're new to attending these webinars with us, we have people with all different ranges of experience here. So we have people that are just starting and they're wondering, how do I get started selling online? And we've got people with 20 plus websites that are using the system extensively, and they've been doing it for years, and they're making 6-7 figure incomes. So just kind of keep that in mind when I answer this question, that there are a few different ways to test. I would suggest that if you're brand new to testing, the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get Google Analytics code onto your website and also into the CloudNet 360 system. And notice how I'm saying CloudNet 360 now instead of Premium WebCart, because we are on that road to getting the name formally changed over. So we're all using CloudNet 360 as much as possible. But Google is a big company, right? They have all kinds of systems and products out there, and one of those is tracking code. So you need to, the easiest way to do it is just go to Google and search for Google Analytics, and you'll log in there. It'll become part of your main Google account when you log in through your Google account, and then you'll need to do a little bit of setup within Google Analytics, because that's a separate section from where you go to check email and things like that. And then Google will supply you with a little bit of HTML code that you need to have placed onto the pages of your website, every page of your website. If you're using WordPress, then that's real easy, because you can just put that in one place and it'll appear on all the different pages of your website. But just the easiest way to say that is just get with your designer or a developer that you work with and say, I need to get my Google Analytics code added to the system. So that is step one. So then you can start tracking how many people are visiting the individual pages of your website, and then you can start monitoring how many sales you're getting. And what's interesting too is I'd like to kind of set the stage for selling online, and this is kind of a precursor for traffic. But I'm going to show you a way next week how you can figure out how much traffic you need to an actual sales page, because it doesn't matter how many visitors you get to your home page, right? You need to have people getting to the point of your website where people are actually with their credit card and buying the product. So that's your sales page. You need to get a certain amount of visitors to that sales page to get the revenue that you want based on your conversion rate. So I have a formula for that I actually put into my Web Marketing All-in-One for Dummies when we published that. But I'm going to give it to you for free. So it's a real important formula that you can use every week. Just look at your conversion rates and how much money you want to make and how many visitors you need to that sales page. But that's really key, is that you need to be monitoring how many people are landing on that sales page versus how many people are actually buying your product. So then from there you can test different elements, and that's just on a very basic level. You can get extremely complex with testing. And matter of fact, there are additional companies out there that specialize in testing copywriting and components of websites, where you can get down to what's called multivariate testing. So you can be testing lots of different things all at the same time instead of just one by one. So I'm just kind of planting the seed that there are lots of ways to test and lots of levels. But just to get started, you need to start with Google Analytics code.
Okay, and then a question specifically about Sleep Easily. And someone had come in and asked about the responsiveness of the website. And the website for Sleep Easily isn't one that is a CloudNet 360 template, so I can't really speak to that one. But they were talking about the mobile checkout. And we do have a dedicated mobile checkout. And actually, after I got the question, I was a little concerned that it wasn't working fine. But I did go and check. And the Sleep Easily system, when you go and look at it on a mobile phone, what should happen is you should end up with a different order page that is mobile friendly. And some of the things, of course, get eliminated because there isn't enough space, like the right sidebar upsell isn't there anymore. But the page should be all formatted for a mobile phone. And I'm looking at my iPhone right now and seeing that it is there. So the answer to that question is, are we going mobile responsive? Yes, it should be mobile responsive for you right now. Okay, the next question, Marty, I want to hand this one over to you. And it says, in the presentation, we had spoken about using product-specific autoresponder sequences. And why do that? Why bother doing product-specific autoresponder sequences? Because it's a lot of work. So go ahead and tackle that one.
Well, hard work isn't easy. That's what they say. But it pays off. And the best thing about it is that you sure don't need a programmer to help you with this. I mean, it's all in the system. And it's very straightforward. Certainly if you have dozens of autoresponders all set up, it can kind of seem like spaghetti sometimes. You wind up mapping things out and writing them down and using a whiteboard of what goes where. But that's fine. I mean, this is a new evolution of doing business on the web instead of having to do so many things manually. So we have to go to those levels of mapping things out and documenting where things are. So that's really the way to organize it. But once somebody buys a product, gosh, their wallet is in their hands. So there's an opportunity right there all the time to upsell them immediately through some of the things that Gary was going over, through a custom thank you page. I mean, it's really amazing to me that a lot of the shopping cart systems out there, a lot of the open source shopping cart systems, a lot of the WordPress plugin shopping cart systems don't even allow you to have custom thank you pages. You get one thank you page, and all of a sudden that's what everybody is driven to. And that's completely inaccurate, because that's your opportunity to upsell people to bundles and additional products, and that's why you want to have a product-specific thank you page. And if they don't buy at that time, that's the reason why you would have a product-specific autoresponder, because then we're into all the things that we talked about last week. Once people are in that autoresponder, you can send them a sequence and have them receive educational content of value over a couple of weeks or even a month. One of the things that I have on my website is when people get my free white paper, they're automatically enrolled in a 40-day course, and it's free. But that's why I do that, because I know people are interested in that topic, and so I'm giving them more and more and more value, and that is a product-specific autoresponder. So that's why you want to be able to stay in contact with people and keep providing them with the valued content, and eventually you're going to have a good percentage of those people buy from you. Saying that, I really have to emphasize that just the mere fact that you have the product-specific autoresponders and thank you pages and all these things we're talking about doesn't mean that your sales are going to increase at all. It's just like video. Everybody says if you put video on your website, your sales are going to increase. Well, that's only true if you have a good video. I've seen plenty of videos that have completely turned me off where I was at the point I'm ready to buy, but here's this awful video. Well, the same thing applies with your writing. When you put autoresponders together, they have to be quality autoresponders. One thing we've been testing with Sleep Easily, since that was brought up again, is I suggested to Richard Shane, who's the guy that developed it, that we have this autoresponder sequence that people opt in to get a free, what we call a sleep test. And when they opt in, they automatically are enrolled in the sequence that goes on for about a week and a half. And I suggested that the first 3 autoresponders that are sent out are replaced by him giving pretty much the same information, but by video. So they get an email, and then they're brought to the video. And why would we do that? Again, because we're trying to make him human, because there are a lot of products out there that it's just a product, and there's no human being that's backing up that product, and we just want to be real personal with the customers that come into the program. So that's kind of a long-winded answer to the question, but it's like one of the most important things you can do is have product-specific back end. I'm just going to call it that, because there are so many directions that a customer will go after they've even bought that first product.
Just to add to that topic, one of the things that you always have to pay attention to also is buyer's remorse. And one of the first things that your customers will do after they buy from you is go check around the competition and see if they got ripped off. They're going to price check you. They're going to feature check you. They want to make sure that after they've spent that money, that they've spent it wisely. So you would think that people would do all this research before they make the purchase, and often they do, but just as often they will do more research after they buy the product to determine whether they're going to keep it. So when you have a autoresponder sequence that occurs after the purchase, what you're doing is you're re-emphasizing how smart of a purchase it was. You're talking about the great features, how you stack up against the competition, why you're better than the competition, better ways to use your product, features they may not be aware of, etc. So there's a lot of information that you want to put out about your product after the purchase, because again, you got to keep the sale. Just getting the credit card doesn't mean you've actually sold something. You have to get the sale, and then you have to keep the sale. Otherwise, it's not really a sale. Okay, it looks like analytics is a top topic here, Marty. We're back to that. And the question is, do you think it's worthwhile to get a more private third-party analytics package like Clicky, or to just use the Google Analytics?
Well, obviously, Gary, we're going to have to do a webinar that is solely on testing. So that definitely is a hot topic, and it should be. I don't know if I can make a recommendation one way or another for any specific tracking package at this time. I really love working with AdWords. I'm an AdWords junkie, and there are lots of tools that you can use to track AdWords campaigns. Like I said, you have regular testing and you have multivariate testing, and Google Analytics produces, with their conversion tracking code, produces really all the information that I need personally. I'm sure there are other systems that you can try, and most of them are free trials. But
well, the other thing to think about is what you're doing today. Many people aren't doing anything. So even if you do something, maybe it's not the best solution, maybe it's not the ultimate solution, but if it's better than what you're doing today, you're still making progress. You're still pushing the ball forward. So what I always like to do is tell people, take the easy solution, the simple solution, and the cheap solution, and just do it. And once you start to get some results, once you get going down that path, you can choose to change. You can choose to spend more money on a solution. You may choose to hire it out. You can choose a lot of different things. But the first thing you have to choose is to take action. And if you don't take any action to get started, it doesn't matter what tool you're using. Any tool is better than no tool. So pick something that's easy for you, that's cheap to get started with, and just start testing the simplest, most basic thing and try to push the ball forward.
We're coming up to our hour here, so why don't we hit one last question?
Well, yes, we are actually at that hour, and what I'd like to do actually is stop this now, because the other questions, well, let me make one last comment. For some reason, most of the question list is tracking and membership sites. So somehow we've bounced back to membership sites.
Yeah,
so
right.
Just as a blanket statement for the membership sites, we do have the membership site webinar recorded. It's posted up on the blog at premiumwebcart.com under the blog system. I know everything else is under CloudNet 360, but that is one section yet that we'll have to keep historically. So go to premiumwebcart.com, look at the blog section, and it's under webinars is the category, or product jam, I mean, on the right side categories. So that recording is posted. So I'm going to skip over those questions. And I think you're on target, Marty, where there's enough questions, enough interest in tracking that we should do a dedicated webinar just for that topic. And honestly, we're at the top of the hour. We're pretty good about starting on the hour and finishing on the hour. And we like to respect everyone's time. Keep these things crisp, concise, start on time, end on time, and keep providing as much value as we can for the time you commit to this. So I want to thank everyone for showing up. Marty, I always appreciate you joining us on these calls. And I think it's time now for me to call an end to the webinar and let you know that we will record this. It will be posted. Let me restate that. It is recorded. It will be posted. And next week, we will look forward to seeing you again on our next Product Jam webinar.
Thanks for being on the call. We'll see you next week.
Thanks again, everyone, and have a great weekend.